It's that time again. Welcome to the best webinar in town, HumanWare Live. Let's introduce your host from the windy city of Chicago, currently sheltering in place. Please welcome HumanWare's brand ambassador of blindness products, Peter Tusick. And from all the way across the pond, also sheltering in place, but doing so with everyone's favorite accent, please welcome HumanWare's Braille product manager, Andrew Flattridge.
Andrew, what's up,
Peter,
man? How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I am living the dream.
I need a little slogan like that.
You'll have to invent one, man. You come, just, make it very, very British, and you just tag it, just tagline it. How's it going, everybody? It's Peter Tusick, and it is time for another episode of HumanWare Live. This is Tuesday. It is noon Eastern, so every Tuesday and Thursday at noon Eastern here in the States, we are going to do a HumanWare Live with Braille, as we've been doing. So we are going to today be looking at utilizing the planner, and we're also going to be looking at working with multiple users on a BrailleNote Touch Plus. So let's say you have maybe 2 or 3 students, or you have multiple users in a testing sort of environment, or maybe at a training center or something like that. Andrew will show you how you can switch between multiple users, much like you can on a computer. Remember, if you have any feedback, if you have suggestions for future webinar topics, please send an email to humanwarelive@humanware.com, and we would be happy to take those into consideration. I know I have put in the pipeline doing some identification of font attributes and some little tips and tricks like that came in, as well as some other things, so we'll be looking at that. And we will continue to do these. We also are working on a special guest, right, Andrew? A couple weeks away.
Oh, yes.
Special guest and a
that
giveaway.
is some exciting news. We won't disclose the special guest just yet.
No.
But for this webinar, you will need to register for sure. Certainly because we're going to be giving away a prize.
Yes, we will have a prize, and in order to give away a prize, we will need people to register for the webinar. So again, that would just be a normal link, just like these are, but you would have to provide your email so that we can draw a winner of our prize, and we'll talk about that later. Please don't ask what the prize is. We're not sure, but we will have a good prize. I promise. If Andrew and I are coming up with it, it will be worth your while.
Definitely.
So I'm going to take over screen sharing here, and we're going to dive into looking at KeyPlan. And really, we're looking at this for a number of reasons, both because we want to illustrate how you can use it to keep track of assignments, as well as how you can use it to maybe manage your day and be better organized. So let me do this. We're going to share. And once I do, we're going to say screen. All right, we're going to share sound. So Andrew, you're going to tell me you can hear this.
Connect.
Yes, I can. Yep.
Speech on demand.
Beautiful. All right. So everybody, what I'm going to do is I'm going to jump in. I'm on the main menu, and I'm going to show you how to create a repeating appointment. So again, this is one type of appointment that might be very useful when you are in school. And I know a lot of us as blind people, I had tremendous issues with remembering everything, because we're very good at keeping things in our head, right? Which sometimes means we're very bad at organization, because we try to remember everything and we definitely forget what it is we need to be doing. This is a great way to keep track of where we are. And I will tell you, without having a good calendar, I would never be able to do kind of the work I do with HumanWare when I'm traveling every week and going from place to place, and also setting up appointments. So it helps with time management, and it helps us be as prepared for everyday workplace sort of settings as possible. So we really want to encourage good organizational skills. And that's why we talked a lot about file management, and now we're going to talk about the planner. So I'm going to show you how to set up, well, think of it as an assignment notebook. We're going to create an appointment, and I'm going to show you how to have that occur every day, and then you can come in and change the content of that appointment. So I am going to come into the planner. So I'm on my main menu. I'm going to press the letter P.
Play Store.
We do not want the Play Store. We want the planner. So I'm going to press P one more time.
Planner. Key
All
plan.
right, rock and roll. And so we know this is going to be a planner designed for that Braille first user. This will synchronize with your various shared calendars. You're going to see my Exchange calendar here in addition to appointments on some of my coworkers' calendars who I have access to and things like that. So there is quite a bit going on this particular calendar. Not as busy as usual, but I'm going to press
Key
enter.
plan. HUS Weekly Business
All right, so first thing here is an HUS Weekly Business Review. But if I press my next thumb key, we are in an agenda view. So I will see all of my appointments here listed.
HUS Weekly BrailleNote Touch with iPhone Wednesday.
Right, so here's a BrailleNote Touch with iPhone appointment.
BNT training with
Right,
Pat Lee.
here's some BNT training.
Status with COVID-19.
Status with the whole situation and all of this stuff. So I'm looking at my appointments in a list view, and it will tell me the date that they're on. However, if I want to look at each day, if I come into the context menu, so I'm going to press space with M, and we would find all of our shortcuts here.
Context menu. New appointment. Space with N.
And we're definitely going to get there to our new appointment in a moment, but you'll notice your new appointment, edit appointment, delete appointment, all of that is here. But if I push the letter D,
Delete appointment. Day view.
I can switch this to day view, which I often like because I like to look at my day in more of a linear format. And I find it more useful because you can move around a lot easier when you want to jump to a specific date and look at appointments, as opposed to just looking at everything in a list. So if I press enter on day view.
Key plan. Tuesday, April 21, 2020-2 appointments. 8 o'clock a.m.
It will start every day at 8 o'clock a.m. here, and you can use your next thumb key and look at this hour by hour. So if I come forward,
9 o'clock a.m.
again with my next thumb key, I don't see anything at 9 o'clock.
10 o'clock a.m. 2 appointments.
Right, so I have some overlapping appointments here. Now I can press enter and open the U.S. Business Review appointment details. If I press my next thumb key again,
11 o'clock a.m.
right, all of these things, if I had appointments here, would be on. Now, if I want to move forward a day, I can press .6 with space. And again, all of these commands are in our context menu. So space with M, open the context menu and find those commands. How do you move forward day by day, week by week, month by month? But if I want to look at tomorrow.
Wednesday, April 22,
right,
2020-1.
I can press .6 with space and jump forward. Now I'm on 8 o'clock a.m. tomorrow, and I can move through my day.
9 o'clock, 10 o'clock a.m., 11 o'clock at noon p.m.
And so on, right? So, and again, everything will be read on the Braille display, will be displayed as well as spoken out loud. Now, let's just say, so I am in school, and I want to create an appointment at 4 o'clock every day, and it's going to contain the assignments that I need to complete for homework. And it's a great way to start using your planner. We're going to create an appointment so we can keep track of what we need to be reading for English class, or maybe the math problems we need to complete, and so on. And it will really help us keep track. And it can also be shared with your teacher or vice versa. So your teacher or you can see simultaneously what that appointment contains to make sure that you're keeping track of your assignments. And I know we always like to say, oops, I forgot, right? But a lot of times that won't fly. And this will kind of give us some accountability also. So I'm going to find 4 o'clock. So I'm just going to press my next thumb key and come down to 4 o'clock.
3, 4, 5 o'clock, 4 o'clock p.m.
All right, so I'm focused on 4 o'clock here. And what I'm going to do is press space with the letter N, as in new appointment.
Subject edit box.
And right away,
new appointment.
It's going to put me into the subject of this appointment. So what do I want this appointment to be called? So I am going to say assignments.
S deleted. S G N dot S.
Right, so putting in assignments.
G S deleted. J I.
Trying to type under my
assignments.
desk here. So assignments is in as my title, and if I press enter, I will now come into sort of the various fields, and I will use my next thumb key to move through these, and I can interact with the ones I want to edit.
All day, checkbox, not checked.
So again, if this were an all-day appointment, sometimes on my calendar I block off times like full conferences, or maybe I have, I'll be in a certain city, and I want my coworkers or my boss, people who like to know where I am and see when I'm busy, I might do all-day appointments. This is not all day, so let's press our next thumb key.
4, edit box, start month.
So again, it's going to take, the time I was focused on was 4 o'clock on April 22nd. So it's going to take that into account. So here, this is the start month, and it's 4. I do see that it is an edit box, so I could press enter on it and change the month to 1 through 12, right, being January through December. Let's press my next thumb key.
22,
here's the date.
edit box, Start day.
So again, the start date is going to be wherever you're focused on. You could change this if you wanted to, but 22.
2020.
Here's 2020. So again, we're just seeing the year of the start time.
4. Edit box. Start
And then
hour.
we'll see the time. So I have 4 o'clock selected. I could change this.
00. Edit box. Start minute.
Or minute, as Acapella is telling me. But again, you could change the start time. Maybe, because again, we saw that those divisions were in hours. Maybe this appointment starts at 4:15 or 4:30. I might change the minute value to 15 or 30.
PM. Button.
And then we'll have a switcher of PM or AM, right? So this is set to PM. If I wanted to toggle this, I could press enter and it would toggle it to AM.
Wednesday, April 22, 2020
we set our end month, our end time, our end date.
22, 2004, 30 p.m. Button. Wednesday,
right.
April 22, 2020-1
I will
appointment.
press my next thumb key
Location.
until
Edit box.
get down to location. And this is where, obviously, if there was a location or if there was an address, I could put this in, but we could leave this blank, but I'm going to say home.
Location edit box. End of field. E.
So I typed in home. I'm going to press my next thumb key.
Description. Edit box.
And now we have the description. And this is where, these are the notes or the description of your appointment. And this is where you would put in what your assignment will be for each day. The first time you create this, you could leave this blank, because that way when we set a repeating pattern, it will always be blank every time we pull it up. Or you could put a description in here, and then I will show you how to edit that description for each day. So it's going to depend on how you want to do this. There's no right or wrong way. I am going to put the description in here so that we can kind of see what it will look like when we want to change that description. So for the description, I'm going to press enter.
Description edit box.
I'm into the edit box, and let's just say that I need to do math lesson 4.
A.1ESON.D.
Okay.
4.
I'm going to put a dash.
Dots 3, 6.
And then
Dash.
let's say I want to do, maybe science
S.I.E.
chapter
Sign
3.
dots 1 dot C R E V I E W.
Again, just putting in as though these were assignments that I needed to complete. So today I need to work on this math lesson 4 and my science chapter 3 review, right? So that's what I need to do today. I'm going to press my next thumb key.
Calendar drop down
Now,
list.
this is showing the calendar. So you can change the calendar in terms of what shared calendar you want to look at. I have several on my device. I have an Exchange calendar with what we do at HumanWare through Office 365. You can use your Google Calendar. I have many of those accounts on the device, and those would all be working as well. So if you activate this, you will see all of the different calendars that you can access, and you choose the one you want. So if I wanted this on my Peter.Tusick sort of HumanWare account, I can activate this here, move down to the checkbox I want, and press enter.
Pop-up window. Rachel Peter.Tusick at humanware.com. Calendar
and now it
drop
updates
down.
that drop-down box, right? So if you only have one calendar, it's just going to use that one shared calendar. But you can synchronize multiple calendars, just depending on what you want to do. Now, pressing my next thumb key,
Edit repeating pattern.
and this is where
button.
this becomes important. We can set a repeating pattern because we want this assignment to pop up every single day, right? We're going to change our assignments every weekday. So I'm going to edit this repeating pattern. If I press enter,
Enter number repeat appointment. Select repeat frequency. Drop down list.
we have a drop-down list where I can select the repeat frequency on the appointment. So if I press enter on this drop-down list,
Pop-up window. Every day.
all right, I can have it every day, but obviously, hopefully I'm not in school on Saturdays and Sundays. And if I was, maybe I would choose every day, or if I lived in a country where the week starts on different days, I might do that and so on. But I don't want it every day. I want
Weekly.
it to be weekly. So this is a checkbox, so I can press enter on weekly. And again, I use my previous and next thumb key to move up and down this list. I press enter and set it to weekly.
Repeat appointment. Select repeat frequency.
And now it's set to weekly, and if I use my next thumb key,
Enter number of Sunday. Checkbox. Not checked.
we have checkboxes on the days of the week that we want this to occur. So I'm in school Monday through Friday, so I'm going to check Monday.
Monday. Checked.
I'm going to check Tuesday.
Tuesday. Checkbox. Not checked.
I'm
Checked.
going to check Wednesday, which is already
Checkbox.
checked because I was on Wednesday when I created the appointment.
Thursday. Checkbox.
Thursday, we're gonna
Not
check, and
checked.
Friday, we're gonna check.
Friday. Checked.
Okay, so again, we are setting this to do every Monday through Friday at 4 o'clock p.m. I will get my assignment notification and my appointment will pop up, or I can go check it. So now that I've done that, I can move to the OK button by pressing O
OK
and
button.
press Enter.
Edit repeating pattern.
Right, so now we've created a repeating pattern every Monday through Friday at 4 o'clock. We're going to have this appointment occur. And so I can come down,
Invite
I can
people.
invite
Add emails.
my teacher or somebody if I want to. So I can invite Andrew to this appointment so that he can see my appointment as I update it, or on his calendar as well, and he can make changes and they will be reflected and synchronized across. So again, you can do that, but I'm going to press my next thumb key.
Add from contacts.
Bring them in from your contacts instead of typing in those email addresses.
OK
And then we'll come
button.
to our OK button, and I'm going to press Enter.
Key plan. Wednesday, April 22.
All right, so now if we look at Wednesday, I'm still in day view. I'm not in agenda view. I'm in my day view. And if I use my next thumb key and find 4 o'clock.
Noon, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock p.m. 1 appointment. Assignments. Wednesday, April 22, 2020, 4 o'clock p.m. minus 4:30 p.m.
Right. So I've set this just to be an appointment that will occur every day. If I move forward a day, remember, .6 with space brings me forward one day.
Thursday, April 23, 2020-2 appointments. 4 o'clock p.m. 1 appointment. Assignments.
It's here as well.
Thursday,
Now,
April 20.
let's just say I move forward a week or a month or a year, right? If I press, and again, all of those commands live in the context menu. You will find how to move forward by a day, a week, a month, and so on.
Thursday, April 30, 2020-2 appointments. 4 o'clock p.m. 2 appointments. Assignment. This assignment has a due date.
And this will be what something we'll get to. You see there are 2 appointments here. One has a due date, and I'll talk about what that is. And the other one is my actual assignments appointment here as well. So I moved forward a week by pressing .5 with space. Again, .2 with space would go the other way. So you can move by week, by month. I like the day view when I'm looking at specific days. There are also commands to jump to a specific date. And again, if I come into my context menu, you will see that.
Context menu. New refresh, go to date, enter with G.
Right, enter with G, and I could go to a specific date on my calendar.
Today, space with T.
And then space with T will always bring me back to today's date in my calendar. So that's very important. And again, that's when I love the day view. I will show you this in agenda view as well.
Key plan.
And then we're going to get into editing these appointments. So let's come back to today.
Tuesday, April 21.
All right, so Tuesday, April 21st. Awesome, that is today, and I want to look at this in agenda view to look at these assignments or my appointments in sort of more of a list, not with the times of days and things, but just as one big long list. So I open the context menu.
Context menu.
And I press A for agenda.
Agenda view.
And I press enter.
Key plan. Hector Watt and Cat.
Right, and now I'll have all my appointments here kind of in order.
Asterisk time, status with COVID, status with Asia Web, BrailleNote, cancel, HumanWare, cancel.
I can also use first letter navigation here. So if I press A, it's going to find
assignments Wednesday, April 22, 2020, 4 o'clock p.m. minus 4:30.
Right, and I just mute my speech with backspace and enter. So again, I can look at, let's say I wanted to, so I see my appointment here. If I want to open this up, I can press enter. And at that point, I would be able to interact with the various fields or see description or, you know, what did I have to read? So if I press enter on this appointment tomorrow on Wednesday, April 22nd, I press enter.
Event details.
And it says event details. And if I press D.
Description. Math Lesson 4-Science Chapter 3 Review.
Right, it's saying Math Lesson 4 and then Science Chapter 3 Review. So I can see, okay, that is what I needed to do for this appointment. Now let's say Wednesday is done, I do my homework, and we go to Thursday, right? I'm gonna pull up the same appointment in Thursday and let's change our assignment. So I'm gonna press my space with E or triangle button to come back into the calendar. And
Key plan.
I am going to find my
assignments Wednesday, April.
For Thursday. So I could either go into day view and find Thursday, or I can just look at this agenda view and find that appointment.
BNT assignments Thursday, April 23, 2020 4 o'clock p.m. minus
So this is Thursday's occurrence of the appointment. I'm going to press, now there's a couple things I could do. I could open this up by pressing enter, but you would see it would have the same description. It would say math lesson 4 and chapter 3 review for science. But if I press backspace with the letter E,
subject edit box.
I can now edit this appointment's details. So I'm in the edit box for a description, and I don't want to be, so I'm going to press my next thumb key,
all day.
come out of the edit box, and just press the letter D to come down to the description field.
Math lesson 4-science chapter 3 review, edit box,
and that's not
description.
What I want. That's the old description, or just the description that was in there previously. So I can press enter,
description edit,
come into the edit box, and now that I'm in the edit box, I can select all by pressing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 with enter to select all of this text, because we don't want this. We're going to update this appointment's notes. And this, again, is why you might want to leave this blank when you create the initial appointment, so that when you come here, it's just empty for each day. Or you can choose to do it the way I did and actually put it in the first one, so then it's always here. Doesn't matter. But I'm going to press full cell with enter. I've selected everything, and let's just type in a different assignment for today. So let's put in English.
deleted.gi.1 4 6.
Let's do English. Oh, I don't know. Questions.
.q.2.
Again, pulling things out of nowhere here. Let's do a
.q deleted.
dash.
Questions.
And let's say we also need to work on our reading.
.d.a.c. C delete L
about bunnies.
A B N I S.
Right. So we have our reading material about bunnies. We need to get that done, and let's put
bunnies. .3
mainly
6.
because this is amusing me. Let's do Andrew. Can you think of an assignment we might have to work on? I'm going to pull Andrew in. He might have something I need to be doing. What else should I do here?
Okay, so is it related to English, or could it be just do maths?
Oh, it could be anything.
Okay, well let's do our maths assignment. I know reading, understanding fractions.
So again, math, understanding fractions worksheet, right? So again, I'm just updating this description. I press my next thumb key.
Calendar.
And I'm going to come down to OK.
OK. Button. Alert. Key plan. This is a repeating event. Do you want to change all related events or only this one?
And what it says is
only this event.
This is
all events.
A repeating event. So it knows, because I've scheduled this every day, do I want to change every occurrence to have that same description? Or do I only want to change this one? And I only want to change this one. I only want Thursday to show, Thursday, April 23rd, to show what I need to do on Thursday, April 23rd. So we're going to say only this one, so O.
Only this event, button.
And now, if I press enter on only this event.
Key plan. Us
and
weekly.
I find the assignment here.
Assignments Wednesday, BNT. Assignments Thursday,
the one for
April
Thursday.
23, 2020, 4 o'clock p.m. minus.
So again, I open up the one, I find the assignment, it says this is my assignment, my assignments appointment for Thursday. I open it, you'll see the description.
Event detail.
It's going to be specific to Thursday.
Description. English questions, reading material about bunnies, math understanding fractions worksheet.
Right, and again, I know that's what I need to be doing. And so if we look at Friday's occurrence, you will see that it's the original one, not this changed one.
Key plan. Assignments Thursday status with quick Zoom session debrief poll assignments Friday, April 24,
So here's the April 24th occurrence, and if I press enter, the description
event detail
is going to be able to be edited or changed, but it's going to be that original.
Description. Math lesson 4-science chapter 3 review.
So again, the point of this being that you can update every single day the assignment appointment to tell you what you need to be working on each night. This could also be very useful if just for anything, right? I mean, I use a calendar. My wife and I have a lot of, a lot of things we do, and I'm on the road a lot, and sometimes it's hard to keep track of when I'll even be home, or maybe if there's a family dinner or somewhere we need to be, we share a calendar. So this is not just something you would do for school. At HumanWare, we often send each other calendar invites. I think I've gotten a few already this morning for different things. And we want to be able to show you how to edit and manage that from your BrailleNote Touch Plus. And the beauty of it is synchronized across your devices. So when I created this appointment, if I look now at my computer and I use Outlook and I look at my calendar, I will see this appointment as well. It's the same on my iPhone. If I pull up my calendar and I have it linked to my Exchange account, I will see this appointment. So those changes will synchronize, and both across your devices, as well as if you share this appointment with someone else. So if you're sharing it with your teacher, so you and your teacher, or your teacher and the student can kind of see what you guys need to be doing, you're all on the same page. And it kind of helps with that accountability, and very, very good for time management skills. Now, the last piece of this that I want to show is how do we delete an appointment? So school is over, or maybe we're off next Monday, right? We're off next Monday, and we don't want to have an assignments appointment pop up. We don't want a notification that says, hey, do your assignments, because there are going to be none, right? We're going to put them in on Friday, and we can go refer to them there. So I want to cancel next Monday's appointment. So again, I'm going to come back into, I could either do this in day view or agenda view, but I'm going to find
Key plan.
my assignments appointment for Monday.
Assignments Wednesday. Stay quickly brief. Assignments Friday.
Here's Friday.
April 20.
Let's come find the next
Cancel
one.
weekly one on assignments Monday, April 27.
So here's the appointment for Monday, April 27th. And I'm thinking, I don't want this appointment. I'm not in school on Monday because it's a holiday or it's an institute day. The delete command in your context menu.
Weekly one-on-one assignments.
Your delete command, which is in your context menu, is backspace with dots 2, 3, 5, 6. The exact same delete command is used in key files or in Keymail that we worked with earlier in this HumanWare Live with Braille series. So if I press backspace with dots 2, 3, 5, 6.
Alert. Key plan. Are you sure you want to delete this appointment?
It's saying, are you sure
Cancel.
you want to delete?
Okay.
I'm going to say okay.
Bottom. Okay. Button. Alert. Key plan. This is a repeating event. Do you want to delete all related events or only this one?
And again, it's saying, look,
only this event.
if you
All events.
want to delete this, do you want to just remove today's appointment, or do you want to delete every occurrence and wipe it all off of your calendar? So maybe my school year is over. I don't want this appointment ever again. Maybe I'm graduating, or maybe I just don't want to be reminded of school over the summer, right, or over something. So you can delete all occurrences. We're just going to say only this one.
Only this event.
And
Button.
we pressed O to jump down there using first letter navigation, and I'll press enter.
Key
And now
plan.
it's been deleted.
Weekly.
So again, it's a way for us to manage these appointments. It's very important. I think it's a great skill that will really help us kind of foment those skills and the ability to be better organized. A lot of times we're just somewhat lacking, and it can be very, very useful. And again, using that day view can be great. Using the agenda view, there's no right or wrong way. I like to look at things more so in the day view because I like to move through each day. And if someone says, hey, what are you doing at 4 o'clock on, I don't know, next Wednesday, I can find that and really see if I have anything going on at that specific time, as opposed to just a list of appointments. Now, the last piece of this that I want to show you is, we briefly saw, but if I come to there's an appointment for next Friday that I have my Google Classroom calendar synchronized here. So if you have your Classroom account on your device and you have this calendar synced, if a teacher sets a due date on an assignment through Classroom, it will show up here as well. So I created one that
Bottom.
find, and I believe
Agenda.
Let's come to
Assignments Monday.
I think it's on April 30th. So I'm going to go to date.
Month edit box. 4.
And again, when I press enter
Go
with
to
G,
date.
it asks for the date, and I'm going to put in 4, and you would need to use your computer braille there to enter the number 4.
21. Edit box.
Under
Day
the
edit
date
box.
field,
21.
I'm going to put in 30.
End of field.
So 430. I use my next
2020.
thumb key, and in the year field, I leave it at 2020.
Search.
And let's hit
Button.
search.
Key plan. Assignment.
Okay, so we're brought to my assignment appointment on this day. And this one is from Classroom, because I made this, it will say assignment. It is from Google Classroom. The actual title here is This Assignment Has a Due Date. And it's at Thursday, April 30th at 4 o'clock. And I had set this as, this came through Classroom. So if I press enter.
Event details. Subject. Assignment. This assignment has a due date. All day. Start. Thursday, April 30, 2020 noon.
See, it starts at 12. And the end time.
Thursday, April 30, 2020 11:59 p.m.
So the way Classroom will do it, you can set this to have a time and things like that. But when you assign work to your student, you can set a due date here, and this will be reflected in the calendar. Again, just another way to make sure we're kind of keeping things in track. You might have a class every Tuesday and Thursday. You know, you can do different things when you're setting that up, and that is done from the teacher side of things. But you can set due dates, and if your calendars are synchronized, they will show up here.
Location.
So again,
Description. This is due on April 26th at 8:20 p.m.
was updated. So I originally had it in the description to be done on April 26th, but I needed to change it. So I moved it from the assignment. And you'll notice when I did that, I did not update the description. So again, this is something, and I had put in these notes, the purpose of this is to see the due date is shown in Key Plan. It is, right, also worth 6 million points. I also put in the description. So this assignment is very valuable for anyone who's in Peter 2.6 Tough HumanWare class. Again, just another sort of piece to keep in mind that these will be reflected. And I think you will all find this very useful. At this point, I am going to toss it all the way across the pond because currently sheltering in place, we have Mr. Andrew Flatris, who's going to show us how to use multiple users.
Awesome. Thanks very much, Peter. And you've got a busy schedule, I see.
It's normally really loaded up. This is interesting.
No wonder you're very hard to get hold of. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, we're going to cover how to create a new user on the same touch. So our learning objectives on this session is learn how to create a new user account, learn how to switch between the accounts. Now, having multiple accounts on one device can be a great benefit. There are many reasons why you perhaps want a multiple account, and they could be perhaps you have several users that share the same device. You may have multiple Braille users that want to use one device. The parents or even siblings, you know, they may want to use it as a standard tablet. And this is the way that we're going to show you on how to, in those situations, create a new account and switch between the accounts. Other reasons, maybe exam purposes, creating a new account, you're not sharing data, and that's crucial. So if you create a new account and you switch to that new one, then the data is not going to be accessible from user to user. The administrator, the teacher or IT department may need to have full control of the device. And then lastly, personal or work reasons, you know, various languages. Maybe you speak several languages and you could have one profile completely set up, localized into maybe it's German or Italian, and your other user profile could be set to full English. And then just general managing work, you know, separating your working and your personal environment. So one profile could be your working profile and the other could be your personal one. So without further ado, let's create a new user. So to do this, I'm starting from the new, from my main menu, and it is customized. So currently I'm showing the Amazon Kindle. So I'm telling you this because I'm going to switch to different accounts so that you can see the difference. I've also got a new voice installed, Peter.
Oh, you're really prepared, man. You're going all in.
And this voice actually is called Peter.
Oh no!
It's an English Peter, British Peter. Okay, so I need to go firstly to my Android settings. Now, the quickest way to get to your Android settings from anywhere within Keysoft is pressing Enter with the letter Q. Enter with Q. In fact, let me just share my screen at the moment because that's one thing I didn't. Yeah.
No sound. It was like the silent Andrew.
Yeah, there we go. So
there you go.
My menu.
There
Amazon
we go.
Kindle.
There. Can you hear Peter? Peter?
Absolutely. Do you hear me?
Okay, awesome. So first thing, I'm going to go into the quick settings of Android, and that is enter with the letter Q together.
Settings. Users and accounts. Current user, Andrew.
Now, in the settings, we need to navigate to users and accounts. Now, if your focus is not already there, then you can press the letter U to jump to users and accounts, or you can continually use your next thumb key to navigate to that item, and then you can press enter on that item.
Users and accounts. Users, signed in as Andrew.
Now that tells me that I'm currently signed in as Andrew. I'm going to click on users again.
Users. You, Andrew, admin.
Now this will give me a list of all of the users that have been created. So if there are existing users here, it will list them. Of course, I am admin. Now you are listed as an admin when you first log on to the Touch. So when you first set up the Touch, that is actually the admin account. Okay, so just to let you know. Now when you are an administrator of your account, you can remove other users. But if you are not an administrator, so my second account that I'm going to add, I will not have the rights to delete anyone else. Okay, so at this point here, though, I'm going to jump to add user, so I can press the letter A, or I can use my thumb keys to jump to
add user.
Okay, and then I'm going to press enter.
Alert, add new user. When you add a new user, that person needs to set up their space. Any user can update apps for all other users. Cancel, okay.
Okay, so at this point here, I'm going to agree and say okay. So I need to set up my new space. So this means that I can customize my main menu in any way. I can customize my profiles, my localization, whatever you like, you can customize. Now, at this point, I'm going to pre-warn you that when I continue pressing okay, the chances are that the screen and the voice will cut off at this stage. Now, once it does that, I will reestablish the connection so that you can hear and see the difference on my screen. I will try and tell you what's going on, but just to let you know that as it's switching to the new user, it's going to potentially lose the connection that I'm sharing at this stage. So I'm going to press O for OK.
OK button.
And press enter.
Users. Add user. Disabled. Alert. Set up user now. Make sure that the person is available to take the device and set up their space. Not now. Set up now.
Okay, I want to set up now, so I'm going to press the letter S.
Set up now button.
And press enter.
Switching.
Now this is going to switch to new users. Now on the visual screen that those that are viewing the visual screen at this stage on the share screen will probably just show my time. Now on my actual device, what it's going to be doing is going to be taking me to the wizard. So like when you first start up your BrailleNote Touch, you'll be taken to the wizard. Now at this stage, you're not able to see this on the screen.
Accessibility tutorial.
Can you hear that at all, Peter?
Welcome to the BrailleNote Touch Plus.
Yes.
You
were rocking.
Okay, that's awesome. So you can hear it, but at the moment it's not viewing. So at the moment, I'm just going to go to the do not launch this tutorial next time I restart.
Using the do not ticked.
And then exit the tutorial.
Previous exit tutorial button. Lock screen. Charging. Unlock button. Device unlocked. Set up new user. Set up new user.
So now you should have my the visual screen has now come back on. So it's just a slight. What I did there is just went through the wizard, and you can navigate to the continue and next button at this stage. I just selected do not start the wizard each time I restart the touch, and then I just exit the tutorial. So at this stage, you notice the voice. The voice is now changed. I'm now using Graham. So I'm currently
old school Andrew.
Yeah,
voices,
yeah. So I'm currently actually in my new profile, in my new user.
You've been added to this tablet.
Let's go to continue.
Visions, cancel, continue button. Checking for updates. Account setup. Checking info.
So at this stage, you go through all the Android setup.
Sign in, use your sign in. Sign in, use your Google account.
Now, if you have an additional Google account, so this could be, let's say Peter wants to use my BrailleNote Touch Plus. Now, this will only apply to the Touch Plus, just to let you all know, not the original Plus. Then he can type in his email address here, and everything would sync over. So all of his applications would be in his Play Store that he could actually access, and so on. But at this stage, I'm going to go to skip the account. So
edit box, email or forgot email, create account next button, create account next, skip button, skip account setup, skip account without download apps, music, games and other content from skip button.
Okay, and I'm just going to skip all this section here, but you can set it up to your own preference here. You can add your Google account.
Name. For example, Joe Smith, edit box for name.
And at this one, I'm going to call this one,
bottom.
Let's do Peter here.
For example, Joe Smith edit box. .6 P-E-E-R. Peter. Next.
Peter.
Button.
I like that.
Cool. Okay, and
Google
again,
services.
you get all of this
Google
information
services.
about Google services. I'm going to just completely bypass this and jump to the More button.
Tap locate help app switch improved switch on for device main install up by tapping accept button.
Okay, and accept all the terms and conditions.
And,
So
and
obviously
remember, because that's a web view, sorry, Andrew, to jump in, it was a button. So if you're very familiar, you can jump to that using your web things. I agree. Your accept, depending on if you hear the word web view or not, is going to dictate if you can use those web element sort of shortcuts that we've talked about previously.
Yeah, so instead of pressing the letter A or M, if there was the More button, you could just press the letter B. That would just jump you to those different buttons. Okay,
Just a sec. Just a sec. Accelerated location. Next button.
Okay, next button there, and it should eventually
Allow
there we
here
go.
daughter to deny allow button.
I'm going to allow this application. So anyone that starts up their Touch Plus, you will get some of these notifications when you start some of the apps like key files, keyword, to allow access to photos, medias, and files, and so on. So Key Updater is the application that we use to push any updates. So it's always recommended to allow this for sure.
Main menu. Contacts. Key list.
Okay, and there we have it. So I'm now using my new user as Peter. Now I can change anything I want here. I can customize my menu. Notice that my main menu here has got the default menu with contacts, email, and internet. It hasn't got the Amazon. You can change all of your languages and change it completely, the whole system language if you wish. But now I'm going to show you how to switch users. Now you can switch users several ways. You can switch from being on the lock screen. So very much like your Windows operating system, you can have a switch user button, and there will be an option there in the lock screen. But if you're already in the device itself, you can also do that as well. And I'm going to show you that way. So I'm going to jump to my notifications menu by pressing enter with the letter N.
Settings.
Wrong one.
Network and main menu. Notification shade. Battery charging. 100% wide. Do tool batteries open quick settings.
Okay, I'm going to open my quick
Button.
settings.
Wi-Fi switch on.
Now at the bottom of this list, there'll be an option of sign in options. So
Bottom.
let's go
Cast. Connect bottom. Battery top. Landscape car bottom. 221.8 close quick set open set edit order of set signed in as Peter button.
Okay, signed in as Peter button. If I confirm on that, that will give me options here. So at this stage, I can select the user I want to change to. I can also add a user from this stage. I mean, this is just one of the many ways of switching between different users. So I'm going to choose Andrew
Peter
now.
Andrew.
That will switch to my Andrew
Microsoft
account.
on. Lock screen.
Okay, so I'm now on my lock screen.
Charged. Unlock. Device
And
unlocked.
now
You
I'll
Andrew,
be...
admin. My menu. Amazon Kindle.
There we have it. So now you notice I'm using the Peter voice. My menu is customized to my preference. So the other way I mentioned to switch between those is actually on the lock screen. Now I'm not sure if I can show you this. Let's try it.
Might not share that visual. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm going to try it. Let's just lock the screen and then
Screen off.
unlock.
Ringer Vibe lock screen. Tuesday the 21st of April. 1743. Bottom. Charged. Voice assist button. Unlock button. Casting. Bluetooth on. Ringer vibrate. Wi-Fi 3 bars. Battery charge. 100% signed in as Andrew. But HumanWare live with Bill Cat signed in as Andrew button.
Okay, so there is a signed in button in the lock screen. Now the lock screen that you're again visually seeing on the screen isn't what is actually seen if you are to look at the touch screen itself. But I'm just panning forward using my next and my previous thumb key, going backwards and forwards, trying to search for that button. But it is there. Once I do press that, it will then give me some options. And again, unfortunately, this is not showing on the screen, but you'd have to trust me. It is there.
Amazon Kindle.
So just to recap then, how to create a new user, we can do that through the through the Android settings. So you press enter with Q to get into your Android settings, navigate to that user and account. Click on users and then select the add user button, and that will take you through a wizard that you need to continue to go through. Add in the name of that new user, and you'll automatically then be in that account. Just bearing in mind that when you are in that account, you will not be able to remove anyone else. You have to be that first account user. So when you first log on or first set up your touch, that's when you are an administrator. Okay, and of course you can delete through the same way. So you'll go into that user settings again, and let me just quickly show you how to delete. So I'm currently in the admin. I'm going to go open up my Android settings, enter with Q.
Settings. Sound, volume, vibration. To
Jump to my users and accounts by
users and
pressing
accounts.
new.
Current user, Andrew.
Enter.
Users and accounts. Users, signed in as Andrew.
Okay, I'm signed in as
Notification,
Andrew.
WhatsApp, checking for new messages.
Okay, I'm going to press enter on users.
Users. You, Andrew, admin.
And then here's the list of all of my users, and I'm going to
Peter.
navigate
Delete
to
user
delete
button.
button. So,
Alert. Remove this user. All apps and data will be deleted.
okay,
Cancel.
so just
delete.
bear that in mind that if you are going to delete, you may want to ask that person. So if Peter has been using my device, it might be worth just double checking that there's no data on the device, because once I hit delete, all of that
Delete
goes.
button. Users. You, Andrew, admin.
Okay,
My menu. Amazon Kindle.
there we have it.
Boom. And again, the usefulness just being, if you're, sometimes we do have devices that are part of loan programs or in technology labs. Also, if you have multiple users, maybe you have a couple of, you're a teacher of the visually impaired, and you have multiple kiddos who are using units. So it's unique. It's definitely a way to do this. And it's something that we do come across, and we find that it can be very useful. And this is entirely separate from adding language profiles or some of those things we'll get to as we go forward. But it definitely is something not many people take advantage of, but could be very useful.
Okay, so Peter, shall we have a look at some questions? Are you there, Peter? Oh, Peter's just been cut. Oh,
No, yeah, it was, I'm not, hold on. Sometimes it's I have a huge delay in knowing when I'm muted or unmuted, so. But I'm back, I'm ready. Let's see what we have on the chat.
Okay, I think there's a lot of chat that came in. I'm just gonna stop sharing my screen for now.
So I know one thing that came in, somebody had mentioned the ability to, when you switch users, they wanted to use it in exam mode, and somebody could still go, as a terminal, and somebody could still access the documents folder. That is absolutely the case. If you want to lock access to an application, you have to use an app locking application to do that. So if you're not locking down access to particular apps, anything can be accessed. Just switching a user doesn't mean you're not able to access certain applications. If you want to lock that access, you need to use a lock apping tool. An app locking tool. That's from the Google Play Store. So, and we can walk through that at some point on these webinars as well. How do you restrict access to a particular application?
Okay, so just going through the webinar chat first. So a few questions about how do we register for the prize. So more will be revealed on upcoming webinars. Certainly recommend you registering for our email notifications for sure. So definitely do that. Let's go down the list. Okay. So how do you set, this is a good question. So how do you set appointments while traveling through different time zones?
So this should be done. So I travel through many different time zones, and I have it within, depending on what you're synchronizing with. There are settings in Google, and I know there are settings in Outlook to convert to current time zone. Generally, what you're with the BrailleNote Touch Plus, your appointments are going to be with whatever your clock is set to. So right now, for instance, I am in Central Time. When I make an appointment on my planner, it is made using Central Time. My iPhone, when I look at that, or will probably update. My BrailleNote Touch Plus will remain in Central Time because that is where my my GMT setting is currently at. but you will really have to play with it because I cannot remember where that is on your various settings. I know that comes through the synchronization side of things, not through the BrailleNote side of things itself. In terms of key plan, it's done through synchronization.
And again, continuing the planner, there's been some questions about, does this apply to the Touch and the Touch Plus? The answer to that is yes. The planner section does apply to both the original Touch and Touch Plus. However, the last section that we demonstrated how to create a new user, that is only available on the new Touch Plus.
Yes, and RJ just threw up that it is in date and time. And yes, it is in date and time, but I don't, sometimes that calendar synchronization tool is in a different place.
Will the calendar sync with Canvas at all?
Yes, if your Canvas account is set to synchronize with that school Google account, absolutely. That would be done through Canvas. You're going to have to figure out if Canvas is syncing with your school Google account or with whatever account you have on the actual device.
Great, okay. And just going through the list here. Can you have multiple users on the original Touch Plus? Sorry, the original Touch, I answered that question. So the answer to that is no. If you create a new user account, I assume that all of the apps will be gone from the new user account and you'll have to re-download them. So the answer to that is yes. So this is, in fact, you're creating a new user. So if you're in a situation where you're the one that's going to be using the additional account, then at that point, what you would do is in that section where it asks me to add a Gmail account, that's where I would add my current Gmail account that I've been using. And you'll then be able to download all of those apps again through the Play Store. It won't automatically just grab them. You'd have to reinstall them at this point.
You'd have to go show your notification drawer and go to My Apps and Games, and then you would see all of those pieces. So Danielle is asking, what app do we recommend to lock down a BrailleNote Touch? There is no right or wrong answer here, Danielle. There are hundreds, possibly even thousands. Some are more accessible than others. So quite frankly, if you want to choose a very inaccessible one, if you're a TVI, and you could do that and be very evil, I guess, and kind of lock it down so there is no way somebody using accessibility could unlock. There are certainly some that are fully accessible. The app locker, if you just search for app locker, you'll need to, there are many. It really will depend on what you want. We've tested lots of them. I have recommended one, which I'm happy to find. If you send an email to HumanWare Live, I can give that a look. But generally, you'll create a passcode. You will have a list of applications on the device, and you can lock access to any of those applications.
And that will be a good one to demonstrate, I think, in one of our upcoming webinars.
Yes, Peter. I will absolutely I'll feature one of those apps and how we restrict access to various places, for sure.
Okay, so off to the Q&A side of things now. So in Canada, can you use spacebar plus F to search for a term, like in keyword? That's a good question.
In the planner.
In planner, yeah.
No. You cannot use space with F because it is not an editable document. So and it's not a web view. So again, you would use first letter navigation to jump around. So when you open an appointment, you would press D if to find description, or L to find location, and so on. If you want to go to a date, you're going to use those commands to do so from the context menu, enter with G. If you're looking, you could also use first letter navigation. If you are in agenda view and you have an assignment or an appointment called meeting with dad, you can just press M and move to it to find its information.
Okay, and question, will the giveaway also be posted on Facebook? Thank you for today's information. So a lot of questions about the giveaway.
Dude, we're getting with the giveaway. The giveaway, you will have to be present at this webinar to win the prize. So you'll need to be in attendance at noon Eastern time in the United States. You'll need to be present. Doesn't matter really where you are in the world, but you will need to be in attendance at the webinar. So you will have to register. Don't worry, it's not coming for a couple of weeks. You'll have plenty of time. We will tell you where to go, how to register. We're just trying to spice it up. We'll have a special guest, and it'll be pretty exciting and a little bit of a different take on things. And then we'd like to give something away of monetary value. So it'll be fun. But don't worry, more info to come. Don't worry. Stay calm.
Let's go to those that have raised their hands, and we'll answer some calls. So
Take
the first one then.
a couple questions.
Okay, so we can see that they're the familiar people that certainly want to talk on the show. So let's allow Ben King. Hello, Ben. How are you? You there, Ben?
Hello,
There we
how
go.
are you?
I'm
Wonderful.
very well.
Go ahead.
Excellent. Say, I have a question about the math side of things. Can you use the BrailleNote Touch with the Common Core math, or how would it work with Common Core?
So you're going to use it to input. You're using the BrailleNote Touch Key Math program to input mathematics. So anything you want to show visually, if you're writing that in Nemeth code, it will come, it will be shown visually. So if you're showing work to your teacher, sort of the whole point of that. And we did a webinar on math. So if you're looking to use Key Math, that was done, I think, in the 3rd episode of this. So if you go to www.humanware.com, click on support, you will see the HumanWare Live webpage there, and it will have our archives where you can look at how to create math using Key Math. Again, it's for creation,
cool.
not for consumption. So
awesome, very
Thank
cool.
you.
And then also too, I do have one more question. With Key Plan, it sounds like, because I use Android for my mobile device, and so I believe with Key Plan, I could just sync it with my Google Calendar on my Android phone.
You got it. You certainly can. It will sync across to anything that has access to that account. So any devices, whether it's Exchange, anything that's hooked up to your Gmail, hooked up to whatever shared calendars you're using, you will be able to synchronize.
Okay, wonderful.
Thanks, Ben.
You bet.
Thanks, Ben. Cheers.
All right.
Okay, so next one then is Corey Andrews. Hello, Corey. Corey Andrews, are you there? You just want to unmute yourself. There we go.
I forgot I have to do 2 different places.
All right.
Because I have an external mic and the thing on the computer. Sorry about that.
No problem.
I have a quick question about the Key Planner. I'm unfortunately in need of being micromanaging one of my passive-aggressive students. And I'm wanting to know, you talked about being able to share like the calendar or the planner with somebody else. So like if I wanted to like have it shared with my Google Calendar or just get emails, because I need to know exactly what he's got on it and to actually kind of follow what he's doing.
Yeah, he can certainly invite you to whatever those appointments are. So he can add your email address to the appointment, and you would get notified of that appointment. It would just be showing up on both calendars, and then you would see when an update is made, because obviously it would send anyone who has access to that appointment a notification saying this was canceled by so and so, or this was, you've changed this appointment and so on. So, or deleted, it's going to give you that. So when you're creating the appointment, you can certainly share that with multiple email addresses, so it can be on multiple calendars.
So that's that second part where below where it says the shared calendars, not that one, but the one that was below where you put
where it says invite. Yep, invite participant. Yes,
okay.
That's where you would go, and you would put in the email address of who you also want to send that appointment to.
And then when it goes to my calendar, then would I be able to add it to my Google Calendar, or would it would just be on my email?
No, it's going to be your calendar synchronization is through whatever. So if you send it to a Gmail account, that is Google Calendar. That's what that means.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying, because it's all Gmail for us.
Yep, that would be Google. So any Gmail account is good. That means Google Calendar. That's what that means.
Okay, I just said I need to basically kind of micromanage them.
Yeah, you can absolutely have them send you those. So sure, you would be able to see them on your calendar, and you would see that they are, his appointments and how they're changed and when they're created and all of that stuff. And you can also make changes to them, so he could see if you added something into that notes field, he would see it on his end as well.
Oh, okay, yeah, because it said I think this is awesome because it's like, this is really going to help with what I need to really get him settled down, make a schedule, and actually,
absolutely.
do
That's
his
the
work
name of the game. Accountability.
and make it to graduation.
Love it.
Next one. Thank you.
Love it. Thank you,
Thank
Corey.
you, Corey. Take care.
Do a couple more, Andrew.
Okay, so we have, get on the list. So we have Ruben Morris. Ruben Morris, hello.
Hello?
Hello, Ruben. How are you?
Yeah, I have a question. It's about the It's about Keysoft.
Sure.
Is it? Will it be? Hang on. How about phrase this? Like, say when I'm like viewing say example for a Google Classroom post or a YouTube description, and there's embedded links.
How do you access them?
Like, basically with TalkBack, there's like a local menu where you can go up and there's like, because basically they're kind of embedded, and like when I scroll down, they're not there. So will you like one day like add like when you can press like go to your contextual help and there'll be like a links option?
So Ruben, the question I would have is, when you're looking at that assignment, is the link itself part of the assignment, or are you saying it's embedded in a document?
Like, basically, the link. Think of like a YouTube description, like don't they put links in there?
Oh, I know what you're saying. Go to,
like,
yeah, sure.
And yeah, that little popping
So
noise.
what
like
you could do, so as of right now, there's no local context menu. I know what you're thinking of in terms of that Android gesture. As of right now, what I would suggest, if you really have to get into one of those links, is you could use the non-editable text speech feature. You could copy the utterance to the clipboard with the full URL. You would then have to go to the address bar, because right now there's no actionable way. So the long way around until we come up with a solution would be to copy that utterance to the clipboard, go into the address bar and paste it using backspace with space and the letter V as paste, because you're in computer braille. And then what you would do is you would chop off, or you would put your cursor kind of, if there was a go-to or some words before the actual HTTP, you would have to delete those and then press enter, and you could go to those links.
Yeah, I'll probably do that for now, and hopefully
it'll work for now. But until we have a way for you to long press and hold, it would work. So perfect. Thanks so much, Ruben.
Thanks, Ruben.
Yeah, sure.
All right, we'll do one more.
Okay, one more. That's
one more question.
Mary Carla Hayes.
Mary Carla Hayes, you are on the blower.
Okay, can you hear me?
We sure can.
Okay, if this is beyond the scope of this, you don't have to answer this, but the other day I downloaded the radio.com app and I can't get the radio stations to play, and it says, and I'm wondering if it's because the cast button is disabled, because you should be able to rewind and go back to programs that you've missed, and they promise all these great things.
So that is a very good question. So I have radio.com. It does work. So I will, what I'll do is I will demonstrate it on an upcoming webinar. How about that?
Okay, that sounds
I just
fantastic.
checked and mine works. So you can certainly get it to work, and I'll try to give you some tricks on how to use radio.com.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Well, everybody, we will be back on Thursday. And on Thursday of this week, I cannot remember what we're doing. I know we came up with a plan. We have a plan. Do you know what the plan is, Andrew?
I have no idea what the plan was.
I don't remember. We need to do some remembering of what we come up with. There's always so much going on, so we come up with them a week in advance, and then I think we need to have a review session. But we're going to be back on Thursday, and we will be looking at some fun stuff. And then I know next week and the week after, we'll be looking at doing the same sorts of things. So remember, if you want to subscribe to our email list, go to our website. There is a place where you can subscribe, and you would choose the proper newsletter you want. Also, you can send suggestions to HumanWareLive@humanware.com. And we are looking forward to seeing everyone as soon as possible. So thanks, friends.
And just to recap, I've just been prompted what we're actually covering on Thursday.
I know, Emma jumped in and saved the day. Thank you, marketing department.
So language profiles, creating and configuring those profiles, switching between the language profiles, and this could be very useful in in a situation where you're studying other languages like Spanish or French, using Google Music to stream audio as well. Now, obviously, there's been a long list of people that would like to ask questions and raising their hands. We do apologize that we haven't got to you. Of course, it has to come a point where we have to end the webinar.
Right.
So please fire your questions away at HumanWareLive@humanware.com. And if we can't get to you, in this show, of course, then obviously
there's always next time. Always next time. So we try to get to at least 3, 5, 6 live questions, and sometimes we may not get to you. Don't take it personally, but we will hopefully hear from you soon.
Thanks, everyone, and take care.
Thanks, everybody.